some commentaries, we've been noticing that some people are writing inappropriate comments and things that are not really kind for learning and teaching. So guys, I really ask you to cooperate and ask relevant questions and respond to things that are appropriate and relevant to our lessons. So are we all good to go? Can I see by the thumbs up? Okay, I'll continue. So I decided that let's keep on working on paper one, which is to do everything that has to do with paper one this week. And the next week we will do paper two. And the last week of the lockdown, we will do paper three, because there must be sequence in what we are doing. So I like it because you are a very interactive group. And so let's keep that going. So as part of my teaching and learning, I like to hear as to what students are thinking about the previous topic or about the previous lesson that we covered, which it was yesterday. We covered reading newspaper articles and looking at certain things that are important when reading newspaper article. And so today I want us to do some bit of reflections. You can comment or you can email me on anele.siswana@yahoo.com or DM me or any space where you can find me, because I really want to understand as to what did you find to be very helpful about the previous lesson, and is there anything that we can do differently, and how can we improve our teaching and learning. So today we are doing advertising or advertisements. So I want to hear from your side, guys, in 2 minutes, just to have a discussion or an interest as to what is your favorite advert. It could be on radio, it could be on TV, it could be in a newspaper, it could be anywhere. But I want to know as to what is a favorite ad and why do you like it? I'm waiting for responses. Okay. I like the advertisements about the electronics in the newspaper because it is very interesting what new technology is coming out every month or so. Great. This one says, I feel like what doing dog advert, I think for assurance, not sure. The PG glass repair, PG glass replacement advert is always nice. Okay, guys, thanks for your responses. I see why you like it. I like the Simba Chips advert. It has a catchy song. Great. I love the responses. Okay, we can continue. So what's going on? Okay. So our learning outcomes for today, it is for you to explore and understand visual text, to understand the trick of how to answer visual text as an example of advertisements. So the golden rules of what to keep in advertising is to grasp attention of your target market. A target market is the group of the people that you want to get their attention. You want them to listen. You want them to get it. It is to convince or persuade. It is to excite interest and curiosity. So keep those things in mind. So in advertising, the intended audience is called the target market. You should be able to identify the target market using visual or text-based clues. I'll explain as to what that means. So I want you to keep this thing. It's called, you can call it IDA or ADA formula when creating advertisements. This is an important acronym that is important in explaining the key things that are critical in creating advertisements. So number one is A, which speaks to attention. Advisors use various techniques to grasp or to grab the reader's or viewer's attention. So as most of you have said in the question that I asked, there's something that has to do with attention. There's something that has to do with grasping. So you must incite, or you must kind of provoke a level of attention by that. So details and information in the advert are put there to get the intended audience and to get the reader or the buyer. So, and then we have the I, which is the interest, the reader or viewer interested in the product. So as one who's creating the advert, there must be that sense of creating the interest to want this whatever that is being advertised. There must be the desire, the advertisers try to create a desire for the product in the reader or the viewer. So this is a very psychological thing that it involves a lot of things involved. So there's as much as there's content is in terms of information, as much as there is what is written, but at the end of the day, there must be that thing that you want to make the person that you are convincing to get what you are trying to sell, or that you are trying to motivate. And then the other one is action. If the advertisement is successful, the reader or viewer will take action to buy the product. And that's the aim of advertisement. So here's an advert. I want you to look at this advert and give me your thoughts around it. So I'll give you about 2 minutes to just observe it, look at it, analyze it, and give me your thoughts, or what are you saying in the picture or the advert. Can we do that? Okay, I see. Yes, Kim? Mel, Kim is up, her hand is up.
There we go.
Yep. Kim?
I made a mistake. I don't know.
Kim?
Dude, why is the hand still up?
Okay,
Sorry.
Kim, I see that is Kim. Okay, we can. All right, I see here the responses from the class is, okay. The advert seems old because it's in black and white. A record company's advert, bold letters to highlight what they're advertising. If it's not Gaussy, it's not the music we want to hear. It's very dull and does not really capture my attention. It doesn't grab my attention because it is colorless, and the slogan is not good at all. Sorry, Mel, you can unmute. Sorry, you can mute Kim.
Sorry?
I'm wanting to say you can mute Kim. Sorry?
Please stop enabling your videos. I'm going to turn it off every time. Please stop unmuting yourselves. I'm going to mute you every time. Okay, thank you.
Yeah, let's keep it right there, Mel. Rather, these are distractful. Okay. So the other one is saying this advert is really boring because of color and incoherent slogan. If it's not trying to get the attention of the reader, the social media are available in the advert. Thanks for these responses, guys. most of your responses are correct, because remember, what is advertised could mean different things for different people, even though it's for the intended audience. But at the end of the day, we all have different interpretations of what we are seeing or what is presented in front of us. So yes, it's a record label. The brand is mostly intended for Kasi people, meaning that people in the township, because it has a particular relationality or resonance, something that they can identify with. And all that you've seen there, the dullness, I can fully agree with that. And remember the principles that it should be catchy, it should be all of that which we have highlighted before. So the target market, this is the group of people that an advertisement is trying to reach. It may be divided into age, gender, social status, and activities. Advertisers use the fact that buyers classify themselves in order to create adverts to appeal to those classified groups. So e.g., it could be teens, it could be computer jacks, it could be a stay-at-home mothers, jet setters, or corporates. So a target market could be a particular kind of age group that when they sell the product, it's either for kids, it's either for teenagers, it's either for adults, but the age could determine that. It could be a particular gender, social status, and certain activities. So ideally, advertisers use the fact that buyers classify themselves in order to create awareness to appeal to those classified groups. So we move on. So now here's another picture that I want us to apply our mind. Keep the things that I've highlighted as a golden thread. So look at this picture and tell me what you are saying, similar to the exercise that we did earlier. So look at it for a minute. All right. So here are the questions that will guide you in response to this picture. What do you think is the target market when you've looked at that? Do you think this advertisement would appeal more to South African men or South African women? What do you say? Why do you say that? So who is the target market? Who do you think is directed to South African men or South African women? Why do you say that? I see Tando's hand is up. Tando.
On my side, it's me.
Okay, no problems.
I keep on muting me. I don't know who me is, but they lowered their hand. Okay, never mind.
Okay, I'm trying to. Takalani?
said.
Okay, I see. Okay, I'll read some of the responses. Someone is using a trolley as a grilling. Okay, Tagalani. Okay. Looks like yes, I'm listening.
When it says who do you think is the target market, I think it's for car drivers, vehicle
Okay.
owning people, because they tend to fix. I said it's for both. Because
All
the
right.
second question says, do you think advertisement would appeal more to South African men or women? I think it's for both because both genders tend to just make it work instead of fixing it, taking the easier routes instead of paying it off once. So that's my answer, sir. Thank you.
Great. Thanks, Tagalani. You are spot on. Amazing. Thanks a lot for
Ziyanda,
that.
sir.
Oh, sorry, Zianda, ne?
Ziyanda.
Zianda. Where are you from, Zianda?
I'm from Johannesburg.
Okay. Which school?
Thank you. St. Martin's.
Okay. Yeah, you are very articulative. I like your question and your presentation. Thank you. So another one says, looks like a shooter kind of braai. They're using a trolley for a braai greed. That person is poor or they have no place to buy a greed for the braai stand. What if they typed the wrong word? It is creative thinking, but it's dangerous because someone or something can happen and then an accident can happen. The grocery tray is used to braai the meat. The advert is ironically funny and is attention grabbing despite the lack of color. All of these answers are based on your understanding or based on what you are picking up in the advert. You're all correct. So the most important, the target market is definitely for both genders. The target market is for people who are brand loyal to VW, right? Yes, the trolley and the braai stand is one way of inciting creativity, is one way of wanting people to be interested more as to what is there. And because you saw something that speaks to, where is this now? Because it works doesn't mean it's fixed, right? So basically only VW can fix or do something, and VW is trying to market their body parts and that it is only them that are the best in selling that product. So I like your interpretations. So let's move forward. Now, one of the things that, again, that I said you highlight as a matter of keeping this thing in mind, it is vital that the advertiser grabs the attention of the consumer. So attention can be attracted by the following. It must be an eye-catching image, right? I'm sure we've seen most images or most adverts. One of the adverts that trend a lot, it's Nando's ads. You know, most of the time it's always eye-catchy and it grabs your attention. We've got other ads like the recent MTN ad where the Gogo and Mkulu are dancing and that. So they really help us to have this understanding of what it means when an image is eye-catching or what we're seeing is kind of eye-catching. So the clever use of words is important, attractive layout, posing a question at times, the font size or the type of lettering also does help to grab the reader's attention and catchy headlines. So keep this thing in mind. You may be asked in different ways for a test and for exams, the things that you look out for in an advertising, in an advertisement or basically ad. So keep that in mind. So once the consumer's attention has been attracted, the advert must sustain his or her interest. Then the consumer must feel compelled to read on. So that's the whole thing of grabbing their attention, that the reader or the consumer, the person that you're selling the product to must be convinced. So there are two ways of doing this. Visual techniques, the cartoons, the graphs, colorful, attractive photographs, outline diagrams, statistics, unusual layouts. As I've said, just have an imagination of these Nando's and many other ads from different companies and from different places to see how this visual understanding works, and probably for yourself to think as to what usually grabs your attention when you want a product or someone is selling a product to you. Another thing is punchy headlines or captions, rhetorical questions, puns, alliteration, slogans, cliches, repetition, and all of these things. And guys, I understand that English is not our first language. And again, this is first additional language. So most of the time, some of these words are kind of jargon. Jargon is a word that is used by a certain kind of profession or certain people. It's a form of a code of interaction that is understood a certain amongst group, or again, in this case, a certain target market, a target population. So you can, what if you struggle to understand some of these words or to translate them, you go to your dictionary to check what is jargon, what are jiggles, what are cliches, what are slogans, and all of that, so that you have a better understanding of what these words means, and so that you can understand the content and what is being asked from your side. So keep this in mind again, the desire. So advertisers also appeal to basic human desires or needs, and hint that desires or needs will be met if their product is purchased. So that's the thing. For whoever is advertising, for whoever who's motivating for something, for whoever is vouching for that, the desire and needs will be met if the product is being purchased, right? So again, what you need to do to look at its action, right? As I've highlighted. So things like buy one, get one, you know, when there's an advert out there that says buy one, get one free, you don't think twice, you get it. So it's one way of, again, putting this thing into action of what exactly it means. So again, limited stocks. So everyone wants to be exclusive most of the time. I see Bomi's hand is up. Yes, the hand has disappeared now. I guess I can continue. So limited stocks, as an example, for instance, as an example, I'm repeating myself now. Limited stocks, it definitely means you realize for people who are influencers or who want to be exclusive, they would make sure that they, I see there's a hand up there.
Takalani. Takalani.
Okay, maybe it's going to come back later. So limited stocks, limited term offers. This would probably be a limited term offer, let's say during time of lockdown, different products are offered within this limited term, that you buy this at this time. Beyond lockdown extension, you won't be able to find the product or whatever that you're looking at or you're looking for. See, there's a question here. Why? This one is asking Mel, why are you muting me? I want to ask a question. You forget about buy 3 for No, this is not relevant. So money guarantee backs we see with insurances, with funeral policies, with other car insurances where they would tell you if you have not claimed over a certain number of period or over a certain number of years, you would get your cash back. So we see that with hospital plans, insurance policies, and many other things. Think of ads that you know that have this kind of particular executional plan. Easy payment plans, like now banks during this time of lockdown are saying you can suspend your payments and apply for a break until the time that you are able to pay. So there are some of these things as a matter of adverts for banks and for people to be able to manage. There's another hand. Okay, I think I'll respond to some of these things later. So again, we've got the discount. We know if there's a discount, people would vouch for that, they would buy. Freebies, people, free gifts, bargain of the century, clearance sales, that it's summer has ended or autumn has ended. So people then, or winter or whatever season, you would realize there are different clothing ranges. So if they want to get into a new range, there'll be clearance sales to clear out for the old stock, get into the new stock. That's another way of advertising. Reduced prices, order immediately. All of those things are one way of advertising, grabbing your attention, exciting the desire, and making sure that at the end of the day, you buy the product, right? So again, another way is informal language. So our day-to-day everyday speech, vocab that is less sophisticated, that is language that is not so difficult, language that is easy to be accessible. So that's what probably sophistication could mean in this context. Again, please take your dictionaries to understand and read more of what sophistication means, what a jargon means, and all of those things. Simple sentences, informal grammar, colloquialisms and slang, those things are very catchy for people. So emotive language, emotive again, has to do with something that has to do with emotions, that you know, almost when you want something, there's a level of emotion or a level of something that happens for you emotional. So appeals to emotions rather than intellect. It's persuasive. Again, go and read what is persuasion or what does it mean to persuade. Advertisers make use of fact and opinion, propaganda, sensationalism, and biasness. So informative language in every advert, there's always an information around that. So it informs the viewer of the product or service, the language that aids the selling of the product, and the jargon that is related to that. So now I want you to look at this picture again, which is a different one. What are you seeing? Tell me your observations. I see there were two hands up there. There are three hands.
That's it. Don't mute yourself again. You've been unmuted, Tamilo.
Hello?
Hi, Tumelo.
Oh, what I think about the advancement is that in the wall there's a child who has some.
Yes, we're listening. You are breaking.
Disease because they are lacking water.
Okay.
That's you would say water that you think.
Okay. There's another one, Melanie. I see there are 3 hands.
Yeah, I'm trying to unmute, but it
Okay.
doesn't seem like Tendi. Tendi's been unmuted, not saying anything.
Oh, what I wanted to say is that this picture that I saw, it's it's a human by the basin, and this is telling us to save water and not to waste water.
Great. That's wonderful. Good answer.
Zianda?
It says, think about what you could save when you save water. This is an open tap and a structure of a kid. I think it goes on for us saving water for the informal settlements, for the kids that are there. It says the more you save water, the more you quench someone's thirst in the informal areas. So yeah, I think that's what it basically means.
Great. I like that. That's a good answer. I see there are other hands.
The other hands is already Tendi. I'll try and unmute Takalani again.
Okay. I'll
Takalani. Okay, let's try someone else. Ollie. There we go. He's unmuted.
Yep.
Hi.
Hi.
Okay. By saving water, you could save a lot of disadvantaged people. Yeah.
Great. Like that. Let me read a few. One says, it has a great sense of humor and it is quite confusing because I cannot understand what is going on. We must make sure our taps do not leak. All right. One last hand. Uli.
Tabile.
Oh, I see.
Okay. Hi, sir.
Yeah. Great.
What I see in this picture is that they are trying to tell us that we must try to save water because there are some people who are in need of water. So we must think before leaving any leaking taps or such things.
Great. So as we all know, water and sanitation is one of the key things in our country. We need to save water. We need to use water effectively. So all of you guys are spot on. And again, remember this thing, we look for different things when we observe or when we look in advert or whatever visual text or whatever visual image that we see. It helps us to think about things differently. Yet again, context plays a factor. And what do I mean by context? Context means where and how. So the where, for people who are in rural areas, for instance, or in the township or in dire places, the idea of saving water, it's something that is a day-to-day story or a day-to-day kind of available thing that we've spoken about. So talking about saving water in those situations, about sanitation and everything else is very important. But I like your ideas, I like your questions, I like your answers about this advert, but the essence of it all, it's about saving water. It's about thinking about the less fortunate. It's about a lot of other things that you can look at. But what is eye-catching there, the attention that you quickly go to is you read the text, think about what you could save when you save water. So now let's take it home. We are within the process or within the phase of coronavirus, the COVID-19, trying to lower the curve of people to be infected, of trying and managing each and every way that people can be affected, so they can be infected by the virus. So one of the things that we are asked to do, it is to make sure that we wash our hands all the time for at least about 20 seconds, right? I understand what this means for people, as you've said, in informal settlements, in rural areas, that they may not have the access of washing their hands frequently because water is a problem. But for us who have access to water, let's use water efficiently and effectively and think of the whole problem that we have in South Africa around water. So yes, as much as we need to wash our hands for about 20 seconds, as much as we need to keep that in mind, we must use our water effectively. And don't forget to sanitize, stay home, and make sure that you stick to the hygiene measures that are there, that our government is trying to do. So let's move on. So in essence, or coming closer to our end, when analyzing an advertisement, it is worthy paying particular attention to the third stage of the AIDA, that is the test, the desire formula, the creation of desire. Desire is created by humans, various needs. The psychologist Abraham Maslow organized these needs in a particular order from the necessary outward. So K is a side teaching, but those ones who may have interest in psychology or in human behavior and all of that, you would hear a lot about Maslow hierarchy of needs at varsity, definitely. So with Maslow, he did what we call the hierarchy of needs. So I know, guys, you've got, some of you have got access to internet. Some of you are curious. You can go to YouTube to get to Google as to who was this guy Abraham Maslow. Why did he create the whole theory of needs, hierarchy of needs, and how do we understand it? So I'm actually triggering the desire for you to make sure that you get the essence of what we're on about. So different advertisements appeal to different needs, and the needs they appeal to have to be connected with the product that is being advertised. So keep that in mind. In the next few minutes, I want us to think about this. Any questions? I see people have been commenting, asking me questions about activities that I've given you. Remember, it is not as easy like I am dealing with one classroom in one school. There's quite a lot that we need to look at when we do these lessons. It's online, it's digital. So assessments or tests, it's not going to be as feasible as you think it is. By feasible, I mean, it's not going to be easy to quickly respond to that. So some people have sent me DMs, some people have sent me emails about the task, and others are asking questions. I will respond to those questions. Remember, we respond according to the need and the agency of that. Sometimes I would wait to get a range of questions, then I respond once. So I'll probably respond when I've got the time and when it's convenient for us to do that. So I'm not ignoring your text, your DMs and everything else, but I'm just making sure that we work with efficient time and respond to things that are probably quite an emergency. But as it stands now, there's no emergency. So again, in grade 10, you must start to think about your careers. It's not something to wait until you do your grade 12 or when things, when you get to varsity or when you get to pass and realize, oh, wow, I have passed, I need to go to varsity. Start thinking about your career now. And in every career, I think, and I believe probably, that you need to have a skill of advertising and marketing. So we may not understand these two things now, but there is a difference between advertising and marketing, obviously. But what I'm trying to say is that in every career, if you want to be a fashion designer, you can design your outfit, you can design your clothing range. You need to advertise it, you need to market it. If you're into business, in any kind of business, you need the skill. So advertising, it's something that every career needs, but there may be those ones who have a very specific interest in kind of specific careers like digital marketing. So I want to know, just within this 2 minutes, what are the possible careers that you can find in advertising and digital marketing? Especially for those ones who've got an interest in this kind of careers. Okay, I see here, designing, marketing, fashion design. Okay. Virtual reality developer. Uli, yeah, I can see you are very advanced. So maybe you can help us to understand what is virtual reality developer. Yes, Uli? Uli, your hand was up. Okay.
Oh, a virtual reality developer is someone who creates like things like games and virtual reality stuff, I guess. Something that simulates life.
Okay, so would you want to do that, or are you considering doing it?
No, not really. I just know about it.
Okay, just out of interest, what are your current career thinking options at the moment?
I'm thinking of becoming a psychiatrist.
Oh, okay. You're the smart girl.
Aha, thanks.
I definitely think that even in psychiatry, we'll need to think about virtual ways of advertising and marketing you being a psychiatrist. Thanks, Uli. People are asking, what is a jet setter? People, again, please go and read, find it on your dictionary and ask about this. You need to develop your vocabulary and your skill repertoire of language. So if you want to know language, you read and listen to things that can help you with that. And lastly, I really want you to send me your opinions, your thoughts, basically around the first questions that I asked initially. What did you find to be very helpful? Is there anything that we can do differently, and how can we improve our teaching and learning? And remember, this is a 45 minutes lesson. It's not a full hour kind of thing that you get in school. And we're trying to squeeze in everything at once, so we may not be able to answer all your needs at once. Guys, enjoy the rest of your afternoon. You are such a wonderful and lovely class. Until I see you next time, cheers.